Project does such great work day in and day out. And congratulations to all of you for the hard work. It is the result of work that is done, extra work that is done by many volunteers and pro bono assistance and donations that could go someplace else. But this project has it's over a quarter of a century old. So much congratulations to you, and I know this is just the beginning. The other reason, several people have said to me, well, you must do this kind of thing every night. The answer is no. I used to, but in my 8th year, I have been very specific about those things that I spend my time on. And homelessness, the issues of poverty are at the top of my list. They have been at the top of my list personally for a long, long time. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I thought, aside from balancing budgets and fixing sewers and building runways, that I might be able to contribute in some way to the lives of the people who are struggling the most. So I have been very, very privileged to be able to do that, mostly through other people. And Horace is such a person. Horace Sibley, I am told by him many years later that he turned this assignment down the first time, and maybe even the second time, having recently retired and had a great career as an attorney, helping to bring the Olympics here, and then obviously through a long list of associations with the not-for-profit sector across the city. I'm spanning colleges and Georgia Alliance for Technology, and I mean, just the list goes on of things that he had contributed to. But it became really clear that we needed someone with Horace's clarity, his ability to network, with his humility, with his commitment to community, in order to take on an issue that at the time, from City Hall's standpoint and frankly from the public sector's standpoint, was intractable. Couldn't do anything about it. It was always going to be with us. Couldn't make any progress. Many people said some people said in the early days that if we provided services, more homeless people would come and we would just be run over. Well, to a certain extent, I learned that that is true, that people are attracted to service. But on the other hand, God created all of us. And Atlanta has a long, long tradition of giving and caring. Horace Sibley is a symbol of that. He is an activist who seeks to bring better lifestyles and opportunities to people he encounters. I think he thought that the Olympics was the epitome of that. When I asked him to serve for 90 days. I don't know if the next mayor will be able to get away with that. And after he said, well, we really need a little more time. I said, what about 120 days? And then he has continued to serve in a very vital role to do not just what I asked, which was to bring together people in the city of Atlanta, but he has brought people together across the region with United Way and many service providers that would have been impossible for any elected official to do, other than to have a summit or a meeting. But Horace was able to knit together a network of concerned and caring elected officials, business leaders, donors, and others, that we now have a regional approach to homelessness that was virtually impossible to imagine 8 years ago. Impossible to imagine 8 years ago. It is the force of his commitment and humility, his willingness to work with people that have brought us to this point. There is no person in Atlanta better suited to have done that than Horace Sibley. Please give him a round of applause. I give him thanks. I am very thankful for his service. He's done a great job, and Beth, you've been there every step of the way, and thank you as well. Horace Sibley, he's known all over the country now for the work that he's done. Congratulations. And we have a colleague who is here, Phil Magano, who is the president's chief person, President Bush's chief person on homelessness, who can attest to the fact that on this issue, Horace is known all over the country for bringing the private sector, the faith community, the not-for-profit sector, the political sector together. He's done a great job, and congratulations.
Have you ever heard a sweeter sound than the exaggerated praise coming from the world's best mayor? The band was good, but it didn't compare. I really am honored to receive this award for a number of reasons. First, I'm honored to even be up here on the same podium with Chief Justice Sears and the Bashors. Chief Justice Sears has held the most important job that a lawyer can have in our state. So to be honored along with her for a lawyer is a great thing. The Bashors, to me, represent probably the most pure example of compassion that I've ever seen, and they, without a question, represent the strongest volunteer force in the homeless community, and they just lead the way in showing how you bring volunteers together, how you train them, how you get them to work, and how you get results. And I've had good conversations with them, and they, like Doug said, they are the best. So I'm honored to be here for that reason. But I'm also very honored to accept the award from this organization, because I think what you're doing is the best example of the legal profession in action that there could be anywhere. And what impresses me about your organization is that you're taking people who have made a mistake, and you're either, or somebody's made a mistake about them, and you're getting the truth out, and if in fact they have to suffer a penalty, you're staying with them for the long term. And in the homeless arena, that is a very good example for all of us. We need to be the friend and mentor of those in need for the long term. And your organization is one that is a shining light for that very principle. So that is a very important factor in my thinking about the organization. Of course, there's a selfish reason that I'm glad to be here, and that is that one of my partners, who is also a contemporary of Charlie Schaffer and myself and Mason and some other of us, John Pickage, was a founder of this organization. And I've had two partners, Felton Jenkins and Phil, who have been chair of the organization. And I've had a lot of partners who have supported the organization and been very proud of the association. So all of these things make me extremely proud and humble to accept this award tonight, and keep doing what you're doing. I will give you one challenge. One of the jobs, one of the commitments that we made as a regional commission, in addition to ending chronic homelessness in 10 years, was to try to prevent future homelessness. And we know that one of the sources of a continued stream of homeless folks are those who come out of prisons without adequate transition to be able to find a job or a place to live. And I know that your organization, and King and Spalding and Mercer and others, have done a wonderful book that recently was published that set forth all these barriers that are faced. But we've got to knock these barriers down, and we need to do it soon, because I'm told we've got 48,000 prisoners just in the state system. 16,000 of them come out each year, and we need to help them get a job and get a place to live, because if we don't, they'll be right back either in the prison or in the streets. So we're going to really concentrate on that as a United Way Regional Commission on Homelessness, and we want to partner closely with you because you're really the expert in this arena. Let me thank those of you who came here tonight from King and Spalding. It's really great to see you again, and there's a big crowd here from the United Way, which is really the institutional integrity of what we're doing at the Regional Commission. And finally, I can promise you I would not have come out of retirement if I hadn't been asked by Shirley Franklin, because I knew with her moral leadership and political will, we would get the job done. Thank you.